The Flat Earth and the Firmament. Nicholas Copernicus, a mathematician and astronomer, wrote a heliocentric hypothesis in the 16th century that the Earth was not the center of the universe, but rather it was the center of the lunar spheres who all circulated the Sun being near the center of the universe. Galileo Galilei, an astronomer, physicist and engineer, agreed with Copernicus's heliocentric hypothesis in his writings of the late 16th and early 17th century, but was more dogmatic in stating that the Sun was the center of the universe. Isaac Newton, an astronomer, mathematician and physicist, wrote in the 17th century that every particle in the universe was attracted to every other particle by a force called gravity. The force of gravity was later used to explain why no one flew off into space whilst the spherical Earth spun. These three figures are celebrated in science as heroes who helped bring the world out of the dark ages and explained what the universe was. However, all three were Freemasons and have lodges named after them in that secret society. The famous painting of Copernicus has him holding a compass in his left hand, which is a well-known Freemasonic symbol, and his right hand is in the form of a Freemasonic wave. Isaac Newton's portrait also has his right hand in a Freemasonic gesture. What is the relevance? Freemasons at the highest level worship Satan, the ruler of the world. The wicked spirit the Bible says is misleading the entire inhabited earth. Their job is to influence the world into worshipping Satan knowingly or unknowingly, imitating his view on life, and to discredit the Bible. Science is one of the tools at their disposal, and they worship the sun. That is why they say the sun is the center of the universe. They force most of the Western world to dogmatically teach and brainwash children in school to assert that the world appeared by chance via evolution over billions of years after a Big Bang. This is taught aggressively at university with no debate allowed for an alternative godly creation viewpoint. Well, is the Earth a sphere spinning on its axis in space and circulating the sun? What does the Bible say? And just as importantly, what is the evidence for a biblical flat Earth enclosed by a firmament? Please see the links at the comments section to the Freemasonic lodges of Galileo, Copernicus, and Isaac Newton. The sun, moon, and the firmament. Let us examine what the scriptures say regarding the earth, moon, sun, and the firmament. The sun and the moon circulate the earth. Joshua asked God to make the sun and the moon stand still in order to help Israel win a battle. Joshua 10 verse 13. Accordingly, the sun kept motionless and the moon did stand still until the nation could take vengeance on its enemies. Is it not written in the book of Joshua? And the sun kept standing still in the middle of the heavens and did not hasten to set for about a whole day. The earth is supported and the land placed upon their supports. 1 Samuel 2:8. A riser of a lonely one from the dust. From the ash pit he lifts up a poor one, to make them sit with nobles, and a throne of glory he gives to them as a possession. For to Jehovah belong earth's supports, and he places upon them the productive land. The earth is stationary and cannot be moved. 1 Chronicles 16 verse 30. Be in severe pains on account of him, O you people of the earth. Also the productive land is firmly established. Never will it be made to totter. Psalm 93 verse 1. Jehovah himself has become king. With eminence he is clothed. Jehovah is clothed. With strength he has girded himself. The productive land also becomes firmly established so that it cannot be made to totter. Psalm 96 verse 10. Say among the nations, Jehovah himself has become king. The productive land also becomes firmly established so that it cannot be made to totter. He will plead the cause of the peoples in uprightness. Psalm 104 verse 5. He has founded the earth upon its established places. It will not be made to totter to time indefinite or forever. Isaiah 45 verse 18. For this is what Jehovah has said, the creator of the heavens, he the true God, the former of the earth and the maker of it, he the one who firmly established it, who did not create it simply for nothing, who formed it even to be inhabited. I am Jehovah, and there is no one else. The sun, wind, and water is in an enclosed system like a tent, and travels from one end of the earth to the other end. Psalm 19 verses 4 to 6. Into all the earth their measuring line has gone out, and to the extremity of the productive land their utterances. In them he has set a tent for the sun, and it is like a bridegroom when coming out of his nuptial chamber. It exalts as a mighty man does to run in a path. For one extremity of the heavens is its going forth, and its finished circuit is to their other extremities, and there is nothing concealed from its heat. Proverbs 30 verse 4. Who has ascended to heaven that he may descend? Who has gathered the wind in the hollow of both hands? Who has wrapped up the waters in a mantle? Who has made all the ends of the earth to rise? What is his name, and what the name of his son, in case you know? Ecclesiastes 1 verse 5. And the sun also has flashed forth, and the sun has set, and it is coming panting to its place where it is going to flash forth. Isaiah 40 verse 22. There is one who is dwelling above the circle of the earth, the dwellers in which are as grasshoppers, the one who is stretching out the heavens just as a fine gauze, who spreads them out like a tent in which to dwell. Isaiah 42 verse 5. This is what the true God Jehovah has said, the creator of the heavens and the grand one stretching them out, the one laying out the earth and its produce, the one giving breath to the people on it, and spirit to those walking in it. The earth is flat and has ends. Psalm 22 verse 27. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn back to Jehovah, and all the families of the nations will bow down before you. Isaiah 40 verse 28. Have you not come to know, or have you not heard? Jehovah, the creator of the extremities of the earth, is a God to time indefinite. He does not tire out or grow weary. There is no searching out of his understanding. Daniel 4 verse 11. The tree grew up and became strong, and its very height finally reached the heavens, and it was visible to the extremity of the whole earth. Micah 5 verse 4. And he will certainly stand and do shepherding in the strength of Jehovah, in the superiority of the name of Jehovah is God, and they will certainly keep dwelling, for now he will be great as far as the ends of the earth. Matthew 5 verse 34 to 35. However, I say to you, do not swear at all, neither by heaven, because it is God's throne, nor by earth, because it is the footstool of his feet, nor by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great King. Revelation 6 verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll that is being rolled up, and every mountain and every island were removed from their places. There is a firmament or dome covering the earth. Psalm 19 verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. King James Version. Ezekiel's vision of angels beneath a firmament and God's throne being above the firmament supports Jesus' statement that the earth is God's footstool. A footstool is not a sphere or a globe. Ezekiel 1 verses 22 to 26. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the colour of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings, and there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. King James Version. The heavens has a solid structure. Proverbs 3 verse 19. Jehovah himself in wisdom founded the earth. He solidly fixed the heavens in discernment. The firmament. It is the book of Genesis where we first learn about the firmament in the creation account. Let us examine it. Genesis 1 verses 6 to 8. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. King James Version. The firmament is a crystal-like dome over the earth, according to Ezekiel chapter 1, discussed earlier. There are waters above the firmament, according to Moses, and waters under the firmament, the sea, where the earth is. Above the waters above the first firmament is a second firmament, separating heaven itself, the dwelling place of God, Jesus, and the angels. Heaven is also known as the third heaven, according to Paul. The sky would be the first heaven, and the waters above the first firmament would be the second heaven. Let us continue with the firmament. Genesis 1:14 to 18. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let there be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let there be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. King James Version. So the sun, moon, and the stars are in the firmament of the heaven, or under the firmament and within our atmosphere. The New International Version uses the word vault instead of firmament. The New Revised Standard Version uses dome. Genesis 1 verse 17. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. New International Version. Genesis 1 verse 17. God set them in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth. New Revised Standard Version. The sun is not a gas giant, 92 million miles away, but a much smaller body circulating the earth. The moon is not on average 238,000 miles away, but a body also within our atmosphere of a similar size to the sun, which gives its own cold light. The stars are not gas giants either, light years away from the earth, but they too are within our atmosphere and very much smaller than what we are told. Some Bible translations shamefully use the words expanse, space, or sky instead of firmament, vault, dome, to keep in line with what science teaches. But it is the Bible that is right. Its author is God Almighty. Science should look at the evidence revealing and supporting the narrative of the creation account. It is not the other way round. The author of this essay accepts that there are many who do not have faith in the Bible or believe in God. We will see some photos of the sun, moon, and stars of what they really look like, and some flat earth maps later on. The sun, moon, and stars. The sun appears to be a bright, translucent yellow disk with some spots, not the computer animation of a gas giant provided by NASA. You can see real pictures of the sun in a few moments. The author of this essay has now come to understand that the sun, moon and stars are inside the firmament structure itself, as the Bible states. That means these bodies are in water. Please view the links to the visual evidence regarding the universe in the comments section. The close-up views show that these celestial bodies are simmering in water. The moon appears to be a translucent disk of similar size to the sun. That is why we only see one side of the moon. One video blogger ridiculously believes that the moon is a hologram after viewing the waterways flowing along it. All he has to do is read Genesis chapter 1 for an explanation.